Camillo. My name is Mike Camillo. Today we're going to be making stuffed shells. We're going to be making some wonderful key lime pie, some Italian flat beans with garlic butter, good salad dressing that's real easy to make, and we're also going to be making some garlic bread. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is the stuffed shells, and in order to do that we need to make a cheese stuffing. And for that we're going to use 32 ounces of ricotta cheese. You can use any brand. This is whole milk ricotta. It doesn't matter. I don't care about my weight. That goes into a big plop like that. You're going to put it in the bowl. Okay, that's 32 ounces ricotta cheese. Good stuff. Okay, next you're going to take a pound of mozzarella and you're going to cut it up into little itty bitty pieces like this. If you have a shredder, you can shred it, but I don't have a shredder, so I cut it up. I'll show you a little trick that I use instead of using the shredder in a second. Okay, and half of that pound is going to go into the ricotta mixture. Okay. Next up, we're going to take about 1/3 of a pound of Parmesan cheese and about 1/4 pound of Romano cheese. This is a little bit saltier, it has a little bit more bite than Parmesan, a little bit better taste too. So in order to grind this up, the easiest way I found is in the food processor. But first thing you want to do is point the knife, and then you're also going to want to cut your blocks up. Once you got your cheese cut up into blocks, you're going to toss it in the food processor, put the lid on, pulse. Quick little bursts. Then you're going to do that until it's pretty much broken up, and then you can just turn it on and go with it. While that's grinding up there, we're going to start our tomato sauce mixture. Move this out of the way. This is 28 ounces or 29 ounces of canned tomato sauce. You can make your own if you really want to, but the canned stuff works just fine for this. Make sure you get unflavored because we're going to be putting herbs and stuff like that into the ricotta mixture. So we're going to put that there. Okay. As much out as you can. And then I'm going to put the other half pound of mozzarella cheese into the tomato sauce. Now we have our Parmesan and Romano mixture of cheeses here. And we're just going to divide this up the same way that we did with the mozzarella cheese. Half goes into the ricotta mixture, half goes into the tomato sauce. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we have to mix all this stuff up. And I found the easiest way to do that is actually with a potato masher. And the reason being is it gets little bits of mozzarella caught in there and kind of squishes it up. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And we're just going to mix this up. And into the ricotta mixture, before we mix up the tomato sauce, we're going to put some herbs in here. And this is your discretion. You can put in whatever you want because what your taste might be different than mine, and quite frankly it probably is. Into the ricotta mixture, I like to put, and you don't have to be exact, once again this is the taste, I like to put about a teaspoon of parsley. I like to put about a teaspoon of oregano in there. Actually, I like oregano. I'll put 2 teaspoons in. It smells good. And just a little bit of basil. Basil's kind of a strong taste, so I don't like to put a whole lot of that in. And because I use the Romano cheese, I'm not going to put any salt in this, because Romano is slightly salty, but I am going to put some fresh ground pepper. Once again, that's just a taste. And then we'll continue mashing up. Stir everything in. It's the same thing, just working the arm. Once you have your garlic peeled, I'm going to grab your garlic press, and that's one of these gizmos here. And garlic goes in, out comes mush. And we're going to put that into the tomato sauce mixture. Get off the little bits there and clean it out. You don't want to put a whole clove of garlic in there because some unlucky person's going to get it. So put that in there. And you're not going to mash these. You're going to actually take and stir them with a spoon. So stir these up until you get them all mixed into the sauce there. Okay, we'll put that aside for later. Now we're ready to actually stuff this. Now we're actually ready to stuff the shells here. And I have 12 ounces of jumbo shells that are uncooked. Some recipes say that you can cook them, other recipes say it's better not to. So I got ahead and I'm not cooking them this time. Last time I cooked them, it came out well, but it was really hard to stuff them. This time I'm going to try it without them cooked. So we're going to take the ricotta mixture with the herbs and the cheeses. We'll take a tablespoon full of the mixture. So about a tablespoon in each one. It's going to vary from shell to shell because our shells have been completely stuffed here, and we still have, as you can see, a lot of leftover cheese. So what we do with this is we're going to sprinkle it on top because we're not going to waste any of it. And we can just use our hands for that because it's just easier. Just kind of randomly plop it on here. And when it cooks, it'll find its way into the cracks between the shells. Okay, so there's that mess. Now over top of our stuffed shells, we're going to put this wonderful tomato mixture. Okay. Once again, this is the tomatoes and the mushrooms and the mozzarella cheese. Now we're going to take our 13 by 9 pan and put it into our oven, which has been preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to put this in on the middle rack. Okay, and this cooks for about 40 minutes. We're going to check it. Set our timer here. For about 40 minutes. It should be done in about 40 minutes. It might take up to an hour. We're going to check it. The edges are nice and bubbly and a little bit brown, and it's cooked. If it's not, we'll leave it in there for a little bit longer. Okay, we got about 15 minutes left on our shells here, so we're going to start our green beans and our garlic bread and our salad dressing. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter heating up in a saucepan here. That's going to be for the green beans. And I've got a 1/4 cup of butter heating up in here, and that's going to be for our garlic bread. I've gone ahead and I've minced 4 cloves of garlic. This is also for our garlic bread, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in a skillet here. You want to do this over low heat. If you do it over high heat, you're going to burn the garlic, and it's going to taste like crap. Okay, that goes in there. And I told you I was going to show you another way of mincing a clove of garlic, so I'll go ahead and do that now. This garlic's already been peeled. Basically what you do is you put the blade on here and you smash it. And that's the easy way of mincing garlic, but it doesn't do quite as good a job as the garlic press. We're going to go ahead and put our garlic bits in here, like so. And this is going to go into the pan for the green beans. Okay, I'm going to let that brown for a couple minutes. Turn down the heat. Stir it up. I should actually switch these because that's the big pan. Okay, I have 2 cans of Italian cut green beans. These are a little bit paler and they're very thin. They have a nice taste to them. These are salted, so you don't want to put any salt in there. In fact, you could use unsalted butter, but I don't care about my weight or my blood pressure or any of that other health stuff. So I've strained the juice out of them, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these in our big saucepan with the butter and the garlic. Stir that up in there. It's not hot yet, so you can use your hands. But you don't want to use a wooden spoon. And you want to keep an eye on these so you don't burn the garlic or burn the beans. We're basically just heating them up. And in here we have the butter and the garlic mixture for the garlic bread. We have a half a loaf of Italian bread here. This isn't completely and totally fresh. It doesn't really matter in the case of garlic bread because we're going to be putting it under a broiler and toasting it, so it's not stale, but it's not fresh out of the oven either. We're going to slice this into about 1-inch pieces. I'm using a bread knife here so I don't crush the bread. That would be bad. I'm going to put that aside for a second. Now, I like to use a toaster oven for doing garlic bread, it just makes it easier because I don't have to turn on the big oven there and heat up the whole house just for something simple like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some aluminum. What we're going to do is we're going to take some aluminum foil. And we're just going to put this over top of the shelf here, just to make it easy to clean, because we already have enough stuff to clean up, like the window. So we're going to check on our butter here. We're just about melted here with the garlic bread's butter. Christina, could you stir the beans? This is my assistant, Christina. You want to keep an eye on the beans there because you don't want to burn them, especially the garlic, because garlic is very bitter. Okay, our butter is completely melted here. So we're going to go ahead. You can see the butter is melted, but we haven't really cooked the garlic at all. Just kind of gotten the flavor into the butter. You don't need to use the heel because you can't really spread it evenly on that. But go ahead and you're going to dip it fast. Make sure you don't touch the butter because it's hot. We're just going to put it on the pan here. If you get some garlic stuck to the bread, it's okay. It's garlic, and garlic tastes good. That's why we're making garlic bread. If you want, you can sprinkle some cheese on top of it. I'm not going to do that today because we have enough cheese in our shells, and we have enough cheese in just about everything we're eating. So, okay. Now we're going to take our shelf here, and we're just going to set it in here for now on the middle shelf of the toaster oven. Now you could also do this in the oven on the middle shelf, but we're not going to. Now we're going to wait a couple seconds to put that on because our shells aren't quite ready yet. You're going to take the juice from 2 lemons, which comes to about a quarter cup, a little over a quarter cup, and you're going to take about 2/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. You want to use extra virgin olive oil. It has the best flavor. You don't want to use the cheap stuff. You don't want to use light olive oil. It just doesn't have as good a taste. Get the extra virgin. It costs a little bit more, but it's really worth it. And we're just going to put these into regular blender. They're not just for making daiquiris, I swear. Okay, then they go to the blender. There's actually a diet that you can eat straight olive oil, but I don't know if I like that so much. And we're going to put about half a teaspoon of salt in there. And we're just going to stir it up if this one decides to work. Okay, and we're going to let that sit, and that's it. We'll toss it over top of a salad when we serve it. It's about time we can turn our garlic bread on. We're going to put this on broil. Okay, our stuff is done now. The timer hasn't gone off yet, but that doesn't matter. We're going to want to get this out now because otherwise it's going to burn. It's bubbling and the edges are brown. You want to put this aside for about 15 minutes to cool. Otherwise, when you try and cut it, it's going to be a gooey mess and you won't be able to serve it right. So we're going to let that sit for about 15 minutes. Our beans have been turned down to warm. They're just kind of sitting there and keeping nice and hot. And our garlic bread should be out in about a minute. It's starting to turn a little bit golden brown. All right, garlic bread is nice and toasty brown on the top, and it's starting to smoke, so we're going to get it out of here. Garlic bread. Okay, you don't want to put this down on my wood surface because it'll catch fire. But that's garlic bread. You got some of it nice and well done. You got some of it that's nice and rare. First thing you want to do is you want to juice and zest 2 limes. I've done one already. I'm going to show you how to zest a lime here in a second. You need a lemon zester. That's what this thing is here. I've already taken most of the lime zest off of this. But basically all you do is you take and you run it on the back of the lime and you'll get the zest off. I've already kind of made this one naked. But you're just going to save all that stuff. It's just the outside rind. You want to wash it off beforehand. And then you're going to cut the lime up and we're going to juice it. first thing you want to do is want to squeeze the lime before you cut it. You can even beat it up on the table if you want. We're just trying to soften up the membranes inside there so it gets a little bit more juice out of it. Cut it in half. And I have a citrus reamer. Wonderful name for the thing, but that's what it's called. And we're just going to run around here and get the juice out of it. It'll come to about a 1/4 cup of lime juice. And we can put that into the mixing bowl here. Into this lime juice, we're going to put some softened cream cheese. This is just regular cream cheese, doesn't matter what brand you use. Get stuff with fat in it. This is dessert. And we're going to put a can of sweetened condensed milk, which is this stuff here. Only comes in cans, and basically it's what it sounds like. It's milk that's basically dehydrated and has sugar added to it. And we'll pour that in there. It actually smells really good. It doesn't look good. It smells good and it tastes good too. It's very gooey. Okay. Now, you can either use a blender, you can use a spoon, or you can use a whisk to stir this up. But we're just going to try and get the... Okay, we've been stirring this here for a few minutes, and it's nice and smooth now. You want to get this very smooth because it's not going to bake. It's done, basically. So nothing's going to melt, nothing's going to come together. You want to get all the lumps of sour cream out of this. Cream cheese, not sour cream. You want to get all the lumps of cream cheese out of this. And then we're going to take the mixture, and we're going to use a rubber spatula here. And we're going to pour this into a pre-baked pie crust. You can make your own pie crust, but there's really no reason to. These are cheap and they're easy to use. This is a graham cracker pie crust. So we're going to pour that in there. Now this is something you're going to make well in advance. You can make it the day before if you want, or make it in the morning, because it has to sit in the refrigerator for a few hours to set up. I would let it sit for at least an hour. 2 would be better. 4 would be great. Okay, now we're just going to smooth this around the pan. And put this in the fridge. And after it sits for a few hours, this is what it looks like. But we're going to put that back in there until it's ready to eat it. Okay, I've mixed up the salad dressing one last time here to make sure the oil and lemon juice hasn't separated. Now pour that over top of our salad, and we're going to mix it up. You can put some carrots in here, you can put some tomatoes in here if you want. We're just going to do a plain old romaine, an iceberg lettuce salad with a little bit of purple cabbage. Some wine. We're going to have a white Zinfandel. Kind of goes with just about everything. It's a nice fruity wine. So we're going to have that. Join us next time on Cooking with Camillo when we'll be either barbecuing or clamming or fishing or something. Just tune in next time. What do you think about this?
It'll be tasty. We'll find out. Oh my. It's excellent.
And she's not just saying that, I swear.
I'm not.